The reason Huntington Beach has the reputation it does in the surf world is for days like today. It threw everything at the best longboarders in the world, and they rise to the challenge. From practically sunrise to practically sunset, this day gave the word action-packed a whole new definition. Chloe Calmon and Hiroka, the last heat, and I'm still catching my breath from that one. So while I do that, I'm AJ McCord, Sam Bleakley, Carla Zamora, you guys, that day had literally everything. Sam, what was the standout moment of the morning for you?
Well, there was broken boards, thankfully not broken bodies, but the standout of the morning for me was seeing Chase Leader and Jack Van Wagoner and Tommy Coleman just really flying the style for the Californians.
Yeah, that was a beautiful thing to watch. And Carla, the afternoon has belonged to the ladies. We made it all the way through the women's quarterfinals. What stood out to you in those final 4 rounds?
Well, I feel like the women really kicked it into gear. They really showed up. The conditions were challenging, but we saw a lot of skills from the ladies, and we saw some upsets too.
Some upsets and some practically buzzer beaters as well. Nothing proving further that you have to play to the final whistle more than the final heat. Between Chloe Calmon and Hiroka Yoshikawa, she is standing by. Rosie Hodge, that winner has to be so excited.
What an entertaining way to finish up a long day, AJ. Just so impressed with your composure out there. Just tell us about that heat, the lead, changing hands multiple times, but getting it on that last wave.
Oh, I had fun. I just tried to do my best and believe myself because Chloe is one of my favorite surfers and I love her style. I always watching her video, so it was amazing time.
And we are so impressed with you. I'm sure a lot of people in Japan are so proud of you. Do you want to talk us through your heat in Japanese so people can appreciate the work that you did today?
今日はよく頑張ったかなって思います。最後のヒートも最後終わるまで本当に諦めずに自分信じてできました。明日はもうセミファイナルで最終日になるので、もう全力出し切っていけるとこまで行きたいと思います。応援ありがとうございます。Thank you.
Congratulations. We will see you tomorrow in the semifinals, AJ.
Oh, Rosie, that post-heat interview just gave me chills, Sam. Her emotion in the water, you can see just how much this win meant.
Yeah, and you know, so there's some big sets in that previous heat from Hurricane Genevieve really starting to strike, and you know, they had to dodge a lot of big bullets, and Chloe was on fire. She was silky smooth, and Hiroka had to dig deep, and she really believed in herself. She trusted herself. She never gave up, and you could really sense the upwelling of emotion there. Congratulations, you know, that was hard-won, hard-earned.
Hard-won, hard-earned, and she's locked in her spot in the semifinals. Earlier today, we really started this day number 3 of the World Longboard Tour 2026 with a bang. Jack Van Wagoner taking on Taylor Jensen. There is nobody, I would say, in the Huntington Beach draw, other than more than Taylor Jensen, that you have to pay attention to the entire heat, Carla, and that's what Jack was facing. He started off incredibly strong.
Yeah, so apparently last year he had more of a slow start and he had a different approach. He was picky and waited for waves. He went into this year saying, I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to come out hot and with fire. And he did it, and he was able to keep that momentum. And we saw an uncharacteristic Taylor here. I know he was disappointed with it, but you know, it's just going to give him fire to take it to the next.
Well, but what is characteristic of Taylor is sometimes he does wait until halfway through the heat to catch his first wave, and then he comes out of nowhere and absolutely decimates the competition. Sam, what was the difference today?
Well, I just think that V-Dub had a really quick start and it paid off, and he got behind the 8-ball on a nice peaky section out of priority that gave him that nice 10. TJ played it patient, but when he finally started to get active, the waves just didn't deliver the same size and scoring potential. But as you can see from these clips, his surfing was peppery, it was lively. It would have been a really painful loss for Jensen, but of course, they've met 5 times before here, and finally V-Dub takes the win. So he was so stoked with his sister Reed giving him the full high five.
So much fun to see, and the battles that we live for here in surfing. So you see Van Wagoner taking down Taylor Jensen, 14.83, a solid heat total, an 8-point ride to kick off the round of 16, heat number 1. And believe it or not, that was not the only heat that delivered today. There were so many incredible matchups all the way through the men's and women's round of 16. And then you look at the one between two of the queens of longboarding in Kelis Kaleopa'a and Honolua Blomfield. Talk me through, Carla, why this matchup is so iconic.
Well, I mean, they're buddies, they're besties. Kelis has a lot of respect for Honolua, and they both come from the islands. They have similar backgrounds. They support each other. They come from the same crew. But it was Kelis that was just able to really put together that silky smooth style on those lefts, while Hano answered back as best she could. Kelis was the one that just, for me, had this aura all weekend, you know, today especially, that just she was calm, she was at peace, and, you know, she still had the eye of the tiger in her.
She really does, but that eye of the tiger, Sam, it's so sneaky because you don't know it's coming, but then all of a sudden she does something like this.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of judges dropped a 9 for that ride. And what's special is her 2 back-to-back wins at the Lexus US Open of Surfing were against Honolua in the final. So they met a bit earlier than they would have hoped to, but that was incredible and some of the best surfing we saw all day.
Kelis Kaleopa'a looking for yet another title here in Huntington Beach and hoping it can be the springboard for the rest of her season. That heat total, a great way to start. And like you said, a lot of judges giving that ride a 9. It lands at an 8.83. Incredibly impressive for Kelis Kaleopa'a. So here we have it. Finals bracket coming up next. For the women's side, we're in the quarterfinals, which, spoiler alert, we did that today because the waves were so good this afternoon. We kept going. Carla, when you look at the semifinals, we've got matching up Avalon against Kelis, Sophia versus Hiroka. What are you leaning into of what's going to make the difference there?
Ooh, I think it's going to be really tough. That first semifinal between Avalon and Kelis, both of them have been really buttery and really smooth. Avalon's coming off the win from last year, and Kelis got 2 wins behind her, and she's got, I think, that maybe a little bit more inner desire to get a 3rd win here.
Ooh, that's going to be really exciting to watch. On the men's side, we have a bigger finals day ahead of us. We still have the quarterfinals and then all the way, of course, through the semis and the finals. And as we look at this beautiful pier here at Huntington Beach that has been the spot of so many iconic moments, Sam, what do you think we got in store for tomorrow?
I love the East Coast, West Coast showdown in quarter number 1. V-Dub against Chase. Chase from Montauk, V-Dub from just down the coast, and that's going to be really cool. But I'm excited to see the Goofy Foot showdown between Joe Maria Buesa and Kevin Scavana in quarterfinal number 4. Joe Marie surpassing his teammate JR, who was eliminated today, and Scavana, he's got that searing down carve, but Joe Marie has got that rubbery, you know, elasticity in his tens and in his tail turns. And I think that that's something that we mustn't miss tomorrow. So definitely recommend all the longboard fans tuning in, not only for the whole finals day, but definitely that one.
Well, and speaking of that one specifically, Joe Marie was one of the victims of the broken board earlier today. JR had to run him out a backup. I caught up with him this afternoon. He's still figuring out which board he's going to ride tomorrow in the quarterfinals here at the US Open. And that makes a huge difference because we saw the conditions change from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And tomorrow looks like it's going to change even more, which is, you know, kind of Huntington Beach's MO. Anybody who's won here, who's competed here, knows that that is the way it works. But when you look at Hurricane Genevieve and how it is impacting this Southern California coast, Carla, what do you think for tomorrow we can start to anticipate these waves doing and how the longboarders are going to showcase their talents?
Well, I think first and foremost, we're going to start seeing some bombs. I think there's going to be some big waves. We already saw some forerunners this afternoon.
Sure.
There was definitely some new action and new energy kind of filling in. So tomorrow's going to have a whole new personality.
Yeah, and Sophia's heat, I mean, there was some absolute huge ones, and they were very smart, Lia and Sophia, just dodging those massive sets. I was watching from the beach, and they were just filling up, you know, my whole eye line, and I was worried for their safety.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it slowed down a little bit in Chloe and Hiroka's heat. But if it's clean tomorrow, it could be spectacular.
And I even looking at the shot where we had through the pier, right? That's something I always think about, especially in longboarding when it's got the bigger waves, the bigger swell. So often you use that pier to get you back out. if the waves are big tomorrow, Ben Skinner was talking about the sort of double-edged sword using the pier is.
Right. That could be really dangerous and definitely create some trauma.
Yeah, so we'll see how the waves show up, but undoubtedly, no matter what waves show up in the morning, the best longboarders in the world are going to be on them, and they are going to showcase everything they have available. All the tools in their arsenal, I feel like, is what we're going to see from the longboarders tomorrow. Today, though, still belongs to so many incredible athletes who showed up, showed out. It is time for your Board and Brew top 5 moments. I don't know how we picked just 5, but I know how this one made the list. Avalon Gall, just smooth as butter on these waves, Sam.
Yeah, Orange County zone from Laguna Beach, and she's our reigning champion, but those searing cutbacks with Michael Takayama watching from the sand, she really shone and choosing the lefts, but it was also a really nice right-hander that she got early in this heat that was spectacular. Her in and out of critical nose ride ability in quick, fast, bumpy conditions. And what I really love is this third touch of the nose coming up here, where she just keeps that board in trim and locks in for a little quick 10, and then she puts this board on rail so beautifully every time.
That transition between the 10 and the rail, Carla, is such an underrated, elevated aspect of longboarding.
Yeah, and it's something that she's definitely got down.
Speaking of unexpected elements of longboarding, let's talk about Declan Whiten sending it kind of to the air today, Carla.
I mean, talk about explosive. He just really kept us literally on the edge of our seats. Getting this airdrop here, goes from the 5 and then just this explosive. We were talking about how he was reading this wave and he kept his eye. Talk about adaptability in unpredictable moments.
So impressive. It's what makes the heroes here at Huntington. Kaniela Stewart, yesterday he had a beautiful barrel. Today, hanging 10, Sam. He just knows how to turn it on when it matters most.
This was intense. You know, he needed a big score. He turned the heat around with that critical nose ride and this blasting turn. Look at the speed at which he rushes back to the tail and then widens his stance, bearing in mind he's got cuts on his feet, hence wearing those booties, and he just attacked that section with so much zap, and it was a short dynamic moment rewarded into the excellent range.
Speaking of a dynamic moment, let's talk about Lia Diaz. Carla, she has had a dynamic showing here at Huntington.
She had a really rough start in her first heat, so much so that I think we all visibly and emotionally felt it for her. I spoke with her coach and whatnot, and she was able to turn it around, really revisualize and realize that she's in this opportunity here that she just needs to snag it as best she can. And I was really proud to see how she turned it around and was able to get the scores and take that win.
And we lost her in the quarterfinals, but still an incredible showing from Lia Diaz. I have a feeling we are just starting to see what she's going to be capable of doing here on the World Longboard Tour, especially given that she's relatively new to longboarding. It's just so incredibly impressive, and love seeing the Costa Ricans show out and support her as well. Really excited to see her on the rest of the tour. Well, this man has been nicknamed by our producer Jack Van Dragon Slayer, because if you are a world champ, watch out, Sam.
Yeah, incredible V-dub at the hood of that split-screen Volkswagen Combi camper van, but 2026 style, because he brought all of this 60s flair with this new generation of energy, and the way he got behind the peak to hang 10 toes and drop his arms and then quickly walk back to the tail and go into these searing cutbacks here. This was a demonstration of one of the greats, and he's our reigning North American Regional WSL champion, beating the likes of Cole and Tony and Kai McPhillips. So it's no surprise to see him moving so far here at the US Open.
And adding Kai Salas and Taylor Jensen to that list is so impressive for Jack Van Wagoner. I cannot wait to see what we see from him tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Carla, not long now until we're going to call the Hooter yet again and get back out there for the longboarding. What are you most excited for?
Oh my gosh, I mean, I don't know if there's any one thing that I'm excited for. I'm really excited to see Joe Marie, get an opportunity to shine once again for his country. I'm excited to see Taka also, continue his play, and just all of the ladies, of course, too. I'm always behind my girls.
And Sam, as you're getting ready tonight, having dinner, what's the moment from today that you're replaying that you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings?
Well, I'm aware that Hurricane Genevieve is going to send some ballistic, bombastic sets. And there's going to be some full kind of storm force grinders.
Yes.
And it may be dodging some of those alligators and waiting for some of those medium-sized west swell sets, or just hanging tight, holding on and committing to those bigger waves.
Speaking of Hurricane Genevieve, she is throwing some throwing some loops our way. So make sure you stay tuned, worldsurfleague.com, because tomorrow's official schedule drops at 7 a.m. and you don't want to miss it. It's going to be epic. See you then.
You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop, true MCs. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop, West Coast. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop, East Coast. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop. Yo, I spit it at you with definitive lines, especially in these degenerate times. I'm coming at you with the infinite rhymes. Stay on my grind till it's World War III. The Bible say we at the end of the time. So I stay on my grind till there's no more me. Uber everywhere like I'm skateboard P. I drop a single every year so they play more me. And you know that I can rhyme so they send more beats. I rip it up all the time, man. I love these streets. We on the block all the time, man. We hug these streets. For my bros that died in these streets, rest in peace. From Nipsey Hussle back down to Heavy D. I miss my bro Marty. We used to hit up all the parties, mess with all the shorties like every week. And you know that the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop. We keep it moving. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop, true MCs. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop, West Coast. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop, East Coast. You know the game don't stop, so we doing this for them. We do it for hip-hop. I feng shui my lines before I even enter the rhyme. That's how you know that the flow is divine. I stay 10 toes down to the planet. I always handle mine, never took it for granted. Always put in the time. I'm a polished MC. I've been dropping lyrics over wax. Now you about to see me shine. I reinvent with the raps. No pre-intent with the facts. Only spit the truth over tracks. Always in the booth, here's the proof over loops. Always drop clues to the youth and the crews. I always had a name in the game. I paid dues, just as simple as that. Now watch me wreck loose. Watch me break through. I'm bringing all of the
This
smoke,
copyrighted
all of the
event
smooth
broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.